Hey Wesley, how are you?
What's going on, Mike?
Not much. Hey, so I guess this Milwaukee team you would know quite well. I'm just wondering how you saw that team play last year, what you thought of the way that the Lakers played last year when you faced them, and then obviously this being a new year, how the matchup strikes you. What stands out the most, Wesley?
Um, obviously going into the season, two of the favorites to be the last team standing are playing against each other right now. Obviously it's a long season, a lot of change has been made between the start of the season till now, but we're just focused on every game, every day. We got to bounce back from that Golden State loss last night or 2 nights ago, and we got a tough road trip ahead of us, starting with Milwaukee, who's got great players all across the board, great team, and we're gonna have our hands cut out.
Giving up a fourth quarter lead is atypical of this team earlier this season and last year. What did you guys see on the film as to what the main things that stood out about that Golden State loss?
First and foremost, you got to credit them. They're a hard-playing team. This isn't their first time being in Staples Center and coming back from 20 points. They're from a deficit. They did that to the Clippers earlier in the season. So giving them credit. Obviously they got Steph. They got guys that showed up and play hard and made some plays. We missed some shots that we normally would have made. Maybe we let our foot off the gas a little bit, but we definitely let one get away. But we got to get ready to bounce back and play a tough Milwaukee team tomorrow.
Dan Wakey, please.
Hey Wes, the schedule is what it is. You can only play the teams that are ahead of you. But you guys have seen some teams shorthanded this season. Are you excited for this group to get tested in a way maybe that it hasn't been tested yet, or at least maybe not since opening night?
I think every game is a test. Every game presents a different challenge. We only play who's on our schedule. That's all we can focus on, all we can worry about. But we've had guys in and out of the lineups as well. So it's not like we're the same team that came back from last season. So this is all still new for us too. So no one's really giving us the benefit of the doubt. We're not really giving anybody else the benefit of the doubt. The season is what it is, and we're excited for every game, and this one's no different. And we're gonna have our work cut out for us.
Melissa Roma.
Hey Wes, did you watch the inauguration? And if so, what were some of your thoughts or feelings or emotions that went through your head while watching it?
Well, I was at practice, so I was able to see a little bit of it. But it's just it's a monumental day, and it's a day that you're gonna remember. It's a day that a lot of people can feel proud about, because a lot of work behind the scenes, a lot of work of using our voices and using our platforms. Everybody. This was the biggest election in the history, and all the firsts that are taking place right now, and hopefully now it's a time for change. It's a time for hope. It's a time for humanity. It's time for equality, and we're ready to open the page on a new chapter, and I'm excited. And the work is not done by any means. We got to continue to push and continue to strive and continue to hold ourselves and each other accountable. But it was definitely a great day.
Dave McMenamin.
Wes, this may be, I'm not really sure what your game attire or ritual is, so I don't know if this would apply to you, but is it easier to pack for a 7-game road trip in today's NBA, where there's maybe not as much attention on the outfits that the guys are wearing to the games than it would be in a regular season?
This is the Los Angeles Lakers. What are you talking about? There's not attention. That doesn't matter where we are. So, no, it doesn't make it any easier.
Got it.
All right, let's go to Andrew Wagner.
Welcome back to Wisconsin, West. Hope you're doing well.
Appreciate it.
My question kind of builds on an earlier one. Last year, you were in such a unique position, being with the Bucks, and being that you were a Wisconsin native, and with everything that was going on, being able to take that kind of center stage role. Have you been able to kind of keep tabs on what's going on back here in the state in terms of the fight for social justice and equality and everything the Bucks and elected officials have been doing?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got my own team back home too that we're still doing things, still in the community. That's home. Regardless of what uniform I'm in, however long I play professional basketball, whatever, that's always going to be home. And so I'm always going to have roots there. And so I'm always going to be pushing for the better of the state in which I'm proud to claim. And that hasn't changed regardless of the uniform, regardless of the state that I'm living in or city I'm living in. The effort is going to continue, and we need the effort to continue. And this doesn't stop just because we have a new president. It's got to continue to hit home. We got to continue to push. We got to continue to smarten up. We got to continue to be accountable, and we got to continue to work and lean on each other.
A real quick follow-up, what's it like being back here? I'm sure it's going to be kind of weird not being able to catch up with family and friends and stuff like that.
I mean, it's a business trip, truthfully. It's a business trip. That's how I'm attacking it. Other than 1 year, Milwaukee was always a road game for me. So even though it is home, it's still pretty familiar to be the opposition there. So, I'm excited to get back there and to hopefully get a win.
All right, we have time for one last question. Wes, let's go to Kyle Boone.
Hey Wes, last year when the Lakers and Bucks were playing, a lot of people saw that as perhaps a finals preview. Obviously you guys took the first one, and the second one was that weekend just before the league went on hiatus. I was wondering, from your perspective, did you see that matchup that way? And was there a different sense of excitement when these two teams were meeting, and do you sense that now?
Well, I can only really speak on my mentality. My mentality when I was in that locker room last year, I didn't really care who was on the other side. I just wanted to make sure that we were there. It didn't matter if it was the Lakers, Clippers, Jazz, whatever. So obviously that fell short. And as for now, I mean, every day, every game is we attack with the same mindset. We know that what the end game is. We know where we want to get to, and we know that we got a ways to go. So is this a preview? I don't know. Who knows? We're not really. We haven't even discussed that. What we need to do is lock in, get better on what we didn't do against Golden State, and make sure that we're ready for a tough Milwaukee team.
And slides his foot and is not called, and the same official who called me for the travel is right there on the play and told me he didn't travel. So that's definitely something that I got to be more leery about. But I have not been called for travels like that in my career.
Hey, LeBron, as a team, I think you guys only had 4 fast break points, and on that last possession before the timeout, it looked like you might have a transition opportunity. Do you guys feel like you were attacked enough in transition on offense tonight?
I think at times, including myself, we settled for the perimeter shot in transition instead of attacking to the rim. But we've been pretty good at that all year. And some games you're going to have. We would love to be in transition more, but you got to get stops to be in transition. And in the fourth quarter, they did a good job of not allowing us to get too many stops.
Okay.
Kyle Kuzma said that it's a 72-game season, and maybe it's going to be hard to keep the urgency up. Is there some human nature complacency going on here that could have been part of the recipe tonight?
No.
Dan?
LeBron, you guys probably won't play very many games this season where you and AD combined to score, I think, 36 points or something like that offensively. Why was it so disjointed, do you think, for the two of you guys offensively tonight?
Both of us was just a little bit out of rhythm, and I think, we're going to have games like that this year where we're out of rhythm. The best thing about our team is we had guys that picked us up. Dennis was great. Trez, again, coming off the bench was great. Kuz, got hot for us a little bit in that third, made some shots for us. So, in times where we both are just a little bit out of rhythm, we have the ability to have our teammates that picked us up and still give us a chance to win, which we had tonight.
Last 3, Melissa.
Hey LeBron, we're approaching the 1-year anniversary of Kobe's death, and You obviously have done so much to honor him, including winning a title in his honor. I'm curious, when you think back to the events of that day, how do you process the emotions of it and just sort of the emotions of the year that followed afterwards?
Try not to take myself back to that position or that place or that time frame. Obviously, he's looking down on us, along with Gigi, and just proud of what we're trying to do here as an organization. And hopefully we continue to make him proud as well and make her proud to wear the purple and the gold every night. So I don't want to live in the past. I definitely don't want to live out that day again. So, it's about always continue to move forward and continue to live on his legacy.
Last two, Anthony.
Hey LeBron, in two-part here in lieu of Martin Luther King Day, you had shared in the bubble that you were reading the autobiography of Malcolm X. So I was wondering, is there a book about Martin Luther King or one of the speeches that really resonates with you? And what do you draw from how both Martin Luther King and Malcolm X brought about change?
I've never read an autobiography of Martin Luther King. Obviously I grew up in school you get taught a little bit about him, especially during Black History Month, things of that nature. But as I continue to grow and continue to come into myself, you just read a lot of his teachings, a lot of his speeches, a lot of his forecomings and things that he believed in and things that he preached that would be better for the change of America and the change for the better people. So, when you just look at some of his most famous quotes and things that he was able to say to the people and believe in, it's things that we're going through right now. It's things that if we apply, then it will make our society a lot better. He was a man of the people, and he had a lot of power. He had a lot of power, and that's why he was ultimately gunned down, unfortunately, because of the power that he had.